Oh, you missed the best part. Now that's not going to be on the recording, Cassie. Now everybody who's hearing me talk about it is
It
going to have
definitely wasn't
wicked
intentional.
FOMA. They're going to have such FOMA. Um, you can book an appointment with me for tech stuff if you want to know what you missed out on. All right, Keller Williams, New England. We have an action-packed call, as is tradition. Let me bring up Krister. I'm going to spotlight you. I see you, friend. I'm going to spotlight me. Took me a long time to get used to this whole spotlighting thing. All right, guys, today with us, we have MAPS coach Krister Holmquist. Did I say that right?
You did.
I practiced all weekend. And you may recognize him from such appearances as in Ignite and MREA with us as a region. So I will do your background no justice. Why don't you give us a little bit about who you are, and then we'll dig into what you're going to talk about today.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that introduction. I appreciate it. So my name is Krister Holmquist, as Brooke mentioned. I am newly transplanted to the New England region. Very excited to come back home after a 30-year hiatus in New Jersey. Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
looked that
we're
young,
glad to have you
right?
back. You don't look old enough, just so you know, to be gone for 30 years.
So a little bit about my background. I actually, as I said, I spent part of my childhood in Massachusetts before going to college, heading down to New Jersey, being in the hotel business, getting out of the hotel business, and getting into real estate in 1999. So I've got just about 22 years of experience now in the real estate world. I did everything from manage offices for Coldwell Banker when I was with them. And then I have been a solo agent. I have been in partnerships. I have been in teams. I have destroyed teams, blown them up. I have rebuilt teams. So I've done a little bit of everything. And most recently, the last about 10, 12 years, I spent developing, growing a team down in New Jersey. And 4 years ago, I think my wife and I sat down and decided that we wanted to figure out what we were going to do when we grew up. And my main thing that I love to do is to coach the agents on my team. I wanted to get out of New Jersey, but I love my business down in New Jersey. So I kept my team down in New Jersey. I became a MAPS coach. I moved to the Cape, and here I am.
So wait, I got to know though, because this is a big thing down there. Are you actually on Cape or are you near Cape, like off Cape? Like where are you in compared to the bridge?
I am in Chatham. I am right on the elbow, lower
Okay.
Cape.
That is a big thing. I learned that. That was one of my ahas from this year working with our friends in
Yeah.
the Cape is there's a big difference.
And not only that, but now there's like different sections of the Cape. There's the upper Cape, the lower Cape, mid Cape.
I'm just
So,
excited when I get to go near the beach, okay? So I don't care where I am as long as I can see the water. All
well, you're
right.
welcome anytime. You can come and visit me.
And I just need to clarify something. We're supposed to grow up.
Yeah, nah, I don't think so.
Okay. I know, I think it's overrated. All
Yeah.
right. So what Krister's going to talk about today is, and Cassie, if you could kindly share your screen, help me out. We've got some amazing things coming up with MAPS coaching. And if you are unfamiliar with what MAPS coaching is, please reach out to your leadership, reach out to us. Your team leader probably has a MAPS coach, or your PC probably has a MAPS coach. Um, it's an amazing world, and there are MAPS coaches for wherever you are, ages and stages of your life and career within Keller Williams or where you are in your world. So, Krister, talk about what the holiday calls are all about with MAPS.
Yeah, so during the holidays, even we get a couple of weeks off to enjoy our families and the holidays and get ready and ramped up for next year. I mean, we're not really taking time off. What we're doing is kind of coming up with our lesson plans, our coaching calls for our clients to hit the ground running in January. But during this 2 weeks between December 17th and December 31st, MAPS puts on all these different coaching calls that you can just log on to. They're free. Anybody can register, I believe, and just get on there and learn some great stuff.
So there's no cost to agents to do this, to get on the schedule and to hear these calls.
That is correct.
That's amazing. Just like this call, this growth call, no cost to you guys, right?
That's right.
Um, Are you on any specific days if they want to see a local?
I am not. I am not, unfortunately, on any of these calls. So you'll have to get me by either signing up to be one of my clients, or I also work with individual market centers just on kind of group coaching and stuff like that. So
Awesome.
I did want to talk a little bit today just about, once we kind of go through this, I wanted to talk a little bit about the mindset and motivation heading into 2022. Give everybody guys a couple of tips to do that.
Absolutely, because that was my next question for you was, we've been working so hard on getting everybody lined up for 2022, right? We know that the activities we do now do not always pay off tomorrow, that this is a long game. So if you could give our friends watching a few tips to get them started into 2022, give them some motivation.
Yeah.
What are those?
Well, I broke it down into 4 steps. And, the first step is probably one of the most important. And I labeled it your time or reflection time, right? These last 2 weeks of the year, I really think that you need to be very intentional about spending time with your family, getting away from the business a little bit, clear your head. Love on those that have supported you throughout the year. And you want to carve out that time for your family and enjoy the results of all the hard work that you've done over the year. With that, I'll give you a couple of things that you can do, a couple of tips that have worked well for me. Number one, schedule white space or no time or you time, whatever you want to call it. This is just to decompress, reflect on the year, and see what comes to mind for next year. And then I have a little exercise around that, right? It's called a data dump exercise. And this is a very specific exercise where it's set up for 2-hour-long sessions, right? So you got to give yourself 2 hours to do this. The first hour, you're going to go someplace that you're comfortable, kind of your happy place. It could be a coffee shop. It could be an office in your house, wherever you want to be. And literally for an hour, you're just going to write anything that comes to mind. It could be about personal stuff. It could be about your business. It's just going to look like pages of doodle. But you really just want to let your mind go and write down things, ideas for next year, goals that you might have. And at the end of that hour, you'll just have all these different notes. And then you take a break and then you come back. And for the second hour, you're going to really kind of organize all that information and, come up with some nuggets or some plans, things that you can implement for the next year. The important thing about this is not to go into it like, hey, I'm going to think about my business for next year, right? Just sit down and start writing. One more thing is around the kind of your time and the reflection is that as entrepreneurs, we tend to look at the gap, right? Where do we want to be versus where we are right now? And we're always kind of looking forward. So during these 2 weeks, take that specific time to reflect backwards and look at your year and celebrate your own accomplishments. If you have a team, make sure that you're celebrating your team's accomplishments and giving everybody lots of praise. All right, step 2. So step 1 is kind of your whole reflection and stuff like that. Step 2 is what I call the planning mode, right? So you also want to book some planning time into these next 2 weeks. And make sure, do I have all my tools, my Life by Design form, my GPS, my 411, and my growth plan? Are all of those tools in alignment with your goals? A lot of times we kind of write all these individual little documents, but we're not really making sure that they are all kind of in alignment with each other and in alignment with our overall goal.
And Krista, sometimes we don't even, some of our top agents don't even have goals, right? Right. So if you feel called out right now, look inward, and maybe it's time in 2022 to get yourself a coach because everybody wants growth, right?
And
They
I
want to
actually,
be able to live.
Brooke, I did an exercise, a half-hour exercise where I knocked out a Life by Design, a GPS, a 411, and a growth plan for an entire market center in half an hour.
And you know what I think it's so important to point out is that while we talk about these things and these 401s and these GPS and all these Kellerisms, at the end of the day, it's not on you alone to do these things. You have people in place, leadership, coaches. This is what we're here for, right? So if these words are overwhelming, if this stuff is making you feel, oh, this is too much, that's what we're here for. Take that next step with us.
Absolutely. So once you know you have all your tools, out and ready and that they are in alignment with your goals, I put it out there to everybody to write out your schedule for next year. And I mean
Time
your
block.
entire schedule.
Like time blocking to the minute. Like this is when I wake up to work out to go to bed, right? We're
Exactly.
talking your full plan of the day.
Yeah. And a full plan of the year. I mean, I'm talking put your vacations in and put your kids' graduations in, put time with the family in, put lead gen time in. You put as much into a calendar, preload it. You know what I mean? Just get it all on there. You can do all the tweaking later on. I'll get to that in a second. Does everybody on your team know what the goals are and what their role is? That's part of the planning process as well. And yes, I am talking to you solo agents as well, because you guys have a team. You have the market centers you support. You might use a transaction coordinator that the market center provides. You might have just an EA. So it's as applicable for solo agents as it is for people with teams, making sure that everybody, and it could be your family as well, right, Brooke? I mean, it's like, you know, your family is your team. Does everybody know what your goals are and what their role is to help you make them?
Absolutely.
Next, I want to talk about tracking tools, right? It's super, super important to have tracking tools. I mean, on my team, we track everything. We track our lead generation. We track appointments. We track what type of lead generation, the sources. It's only with this data that we can reflect either on a quarterly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis, what kind of success we're having with those efforts, right?
Right. If marketing's not working, why are you going to continue to pay for that one medium, or are we going to tweak it? Like, we've got to know what's bringing in the results so we're not wasting money. We got to play red light, green light in 2022 with how we're doing our marketing budgets.
Yeah. And as we all know, I mean, 2021 was challenging in many ways, especially for those people that work with a lot of buyers. It was a brutal year. So database. I can't stress it enough. And I'll get to Gary Keller's comments in a moment about lead generation and running a business. So database, make sure it's cleaned up by the end of the year. Make sure that you have a plan in place to clean it up and then to add to it. And the easiest
Speaking
way
my
to
love language, database is my love language. It's the sixth one. Nobody talks about it.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, we should be talking about this every single day, every single week. I mean, it is that important. So by complete and healthy, of course, we mean that you have all the vitals, right? You got the name, the phone number, the address, the email address. Make sure that you're working on that and that you have a plan set up around it to add to your database. And the one little thing that I will say about adding to your database, and I encourage all of my clients and the people on my team to do this, is to call all of your sphere of influence, all the people in your database, and ask them for one referral. Ask your people for one name to add to your database. And if you can get that from everybody, you've doubled your database, right?
Right. Love it.
All right. Step 3 during this downtime and in regards to mindset and motivation. Step 3 is avoiding pitfalls and learning new habits. Simply put, productivity, right? Read a great article called Death by a Million Cuts. And this article really just talked about how any of us in business can get sidetracked so easily just by all the mundane things, the gotta minutes, the phone messages, the texts, checking Instagram and checking Facebook for whatever it is that we check Facebook for. Unless Facebook is part of your lead generation for that moment, then you should be not on there, and try to be very intentional with your days. Lack of clarity and clearly defined roles, I think, are two of the biggest pitfalls that people fall into. If you don't have clarity around your business and around your day and around your purpose, and you don't have people in your world with clearly defined roles, it can cause a lot of headaches, lack of productivity, and frustration. Also around productivity, I endorse thinking time on Sundays, usually about half an hour to an hour, to really review your upcoming week. Get in there, look at every single appointment that you have. How can things be moved around? Are there things that you don't really need to have on that schedule that are going to interfere with your productivity that week?
Love that. Red light, green light on all things.
All things. And that's at least my last step, or my last point for step 3, and that is the daily exercise of force ranking your to-dos in order to get them down to the one thing. I've done this with people before as well. They're like, I'm overwhelmed. I've got so much to do. All right, write them all out. All right, now eliminate the bottom 5. All right, now eliminate another 3. And then you get it down to that one thing that's going to help move your business, the
Right.
one thing,
I think there's a
right?
book about that, right? Like there might,
Is there? Yeah,
uh,
maybe. Yeah. One of my 3 favorite books, along with Shift and the MREA, but I can teach those as well. All right. And finally, step 4, the 4th thing is really to focus on the right thing. This is kind of where what I got out of all of Gary's masterminds that he holds here at the end of the year. I listened to about 3 of them, and 2 things kept on coming up with him. Number 1 was that as we are all salespeople and entrepreneurs, and we do that really, really well. Where we tend to fall down is being in the business of running a business. And Gary's point is to try to pick one to be the master of it. And generally it becomes a salesperson, entrepreneur side of it. So you need to figure out a way to, leverage out the running of your business. This is predominantly for teams, but solo agents can also kind of keep an eye on this, because as your business grows, you're always bringing in leverage of some kind, right? I mean, literally somebody can be a MREA, a millionaire real estate agent, with just one agent and a whole bunch of leverage. I mean,
right,
they're
an admin, even with an
right.
admin, right? So
Oh yeah,
anyway, who had leverage on on your bingo cards? Make sure you hit that for the prize, okay?
leverage.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And then
No,
lead.
I love that. I love that because you can't be good at everything.
No,
You cannot. I have my weaknesses and things that we do in this world as well, but we leverage those things out, right? We can't all do it all because we're going to implode at the end of the day. And I'm sure so many of our friends here are feeling the burnout of end of year, of getting everything tied up, of getting their goals in. You've got to take care of you, is what Krister's saying at the end of the day. And you've got to think about your business
yeah.
as well. I think Gary says it. He says, hope is not a business strategy.
Hope is
Or luck.
not a business strategy. And, having an accidental business or being an accidental agent is no way to go through life either. And those are the people that, yeah, business kind of just comes to me, it attracts me, I attract it, whatever they say, but they don't have a plan around it, right? And that was Gary's second point, was around lead generation. I mean, he's coming back to this, right? He's in a room with the 100 top teams in the country, and says that you guys have 2 problems. The first one was that you're not business leaders. You don't know how to do that well enough to call yourselves that. And the second one was you're still not lead generating at a high enough level. And, that's pretty eye-opening when the head of our company, talks to the top 100 teams and says, hey, you guys are not lead generating enough.
No, they're
So
lead receiving, right?
yeah.
And that's a great question for all our friends here is what can I do to lead gen more in 2022? What are the distractions I have to cut out? What is the leverage I need? And who are the people I need in my world to make that happen? So look around you guys. You've got the support, you've got the systems, you've got the tools, and you've got the models. How can we help you get those all into place?
Yeah, and I think that it's really comes down to, building out that plan. And, it starts with all the stuff we talked about before, right? All your tools and all your tracking, right? So you know what you're doing and whether or not it's working. And then the thing is to go into the next year with a clear cut plan in place. And I tell all my clients, you need to wake up every day knowing what you're going to do to lead generate that day. It shouldn't be, I'm going to wake up and spend half an hour getting ready to lead generate, pull up my lists and stuff like
Get
that.
ready to get ready.
Yeah, get ready to get ready.
I think that should be our shirt, right? Like, am I getting ready to get ready? Because
Right.
it's like an
Yeah.
infinite loop of getting ready. So, all right, friends, Chris is going to pop his info in the chat.
I shall.
If you have any more questions for him, please reach out. What a fantastic resource our region has with him here and as a MAPS coach. So please reach out to any of us if you need help after the call and you can't remember who it is, but his information is also in the growth call tool sheet that goes out to everyone. Krister, thank you so much for coming and playing. And then stick around for the call.
I
So
will
you
do
see
that.
what we do. We're going to give
Great
away
seeing you.
stuff. It's great seeing you. All right, Cassie, you ready? Let's do it.
All right, go for it, Brooke.
So, first of all, I love this image. This the region went out of I love this image. It calls to me. I just want to be sitting here drinking this cocoa right now.
I was gonna say it's so cozy. Like I just feel
Oh,
like cozy right now looking at the
yeah,
picture.
like I have a heated blanket on,
Yeah.
ready to go.
On the couch, snuggled
Right,
up with the blanket, maybe my dogs.
but you know what I love more about this is playing on the psychology of those who are in distress because they're hosting Christmas or any of the holidays they celebrate and their house is too little. Right? Your house may not hold the amount of people coming, or it could normally, but with the way things are now, you wish there was a little space around people. So people are thinking about bigger places, or if you don't want to host, smaller places, right? So with this image, no need to wait to see if you are on Santa's nice list. Comment below with what your next home must have to celebrate the holidays. And guys, you know me, this is tag after tag after tag. So if somebody puts up, I need a ginormous kitchen, put ginormous kitchen as the tag. And then the next time you list or see a home while you're cruising the MLS and the listings in the hot sheet that has a kitchen to die for, you have a text to send. You have something to say to that person like, I remembered how much you needed a bigger kitchen. Check out this bad boy. All right, next one. Jake, you can get these. We post them, we email them, and you just grab them from the Google document. So sticking with our social posts of vocabulary, this week is deed. And this is a legal document that is signed and delivered, specifically one regarding the ownership of property or legal rights, also known as the chapters that confuse everyone in real estate school. There's a lot of different deeds, right?
So many different things.
Listen, this was the one chapter I was like, I need a flow chart. Like, this is ridiculous. And then our this or that, guys, this or that's work. I'm seeing them on your pages, and I love between either Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever you're putting them, they're working. So keep doing it. These days, space can be at a premium. If you had the choice, would you like that space for a garage or a backyard? Drop a pic below of your favorite space you love at home. So I love this one because people either go, I need it, I don't have it, I have no picture, or you're going to start seeing some gorgeous backyards or really fun garages. And I think that's our last graphic, is it, Cassie?
Yes.
It is. All right. Tags, guys. Put the tags in there. They are going to be such an amazing tool when you're making these calls. Also brings you from database to data bank on things, right? I can sit down, look at the database, and I could call for you based on tags. I would know something about this person and have something to talk about. All right, you guys went bananas over what we gave away last week, the gratitude journal, the 90-day gratitude journal. I live out of this time of year. Because sometimes when you're bogged down with the stress of your business, the stress of dealing with your family, I'm not speaking for myself at this time of year and all the moving parts, it's really hard to find gratitude. It's really hard to sometimes find the brighter spots in this world. So this is what I do every year, and I start it the day after Christmas. And I do this for 90 days. It is my most favorite thing. So it's called the 90-day gratitude journal. And what I also love about it is it's going to become a keepsake for my children someday. It is just a beautiful thought place where you can answer all these questions. I love it. I want you guys to have it and do it. My secret trick is I don't write in the book. I actually have like a gratitude journal that I date, and I go in and I do it in the journal. So, and did you guys know you can get extra prize entries? Did you know that? No, you can. Cassie dropped the form. So you can grab the form. It's about 2 above from where I see. You can have extra entries into all the fun things we give away on a weekly basis.
Does it say scroll up, or I'll drop it in there again.
Thank
Resources
you.
from this week, the Facebook group to join, and save that link for the weekly form. It also gets emailed out, I think, every Friday and Monday.
It does. And guys, in your profiles, if you don't have anything about real estate listed and you're not getting in and we're not accepting you, can you send one of us a note letting us know who you are? Because sometimes your names here don't match your names on Facebook, and we want to make sure we're letting real humans in. So let us know if you're having problems getting in. All right, Cassie, you got a number for me?
All right, number 127 coming out of Chestnut Hill. Getting our 98-day gratitude journal is Michelle Fang. Michelle, are you on? If you are, can you come off mute?
Hi. Wow.
Hi, Michelle.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is this your first growth call?
No, it's not. I've been here multiple times, but I just never win anything ever.
Oh, well, congratulations, and right before the holidays. So, what have you been seeing with these posts? What have been some of the fun things that you've put out into your social world?
I like this and that. Sometimes I get some responses. I find those fun. Yeah. Thank you so
Good.
much for whoever makes those. They're really good.
They're a team effort. There some weeks we're like, this is ridiculous. We can't put it out. Let's do it anyway. We do. So if you guys ever have things you want us to this or that, you know where to find me. Get it over to one of us and we'll put it up on a this or that for you.
Oh, thanks.
No
All
problem.
right, congratulations, Michelle. We'll connect with you after the call.
Okay.
All right, guys. You have an absolute fabulous week. Again, thank you to Krista for coming on, talking about maps. Check out the holidays, the schedules right there in that document for you to get those free holiday calls and get yourself set up for 2022. All right, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.